A lot of people who immigrate to the US project as though their lives are perfect, and they try to project as though everything is going great. And sometimes they actually show the other side of the story too. They show that not everything is good, everything is very problematic. So which side is true? So let me reveal to you the biggest lies that Desis working in the US on H1B will tell you. Lie number 1. They compare US with Canada and then convey that Canada is better because of its more friendly immigration policies. Let's be real. Canada's population is 10 times lower than that of the US. The number of companies in Canada are far fewer. In fact, 90% of the Canadian population lives within 100 miles of the US border. If you look at their cities, all the industrialized cities are very close to the US border. Take Toronto, take Vancouver, take Windsor, name it. All of those cities are close to the US border, and it is for a reason, right? Just because Canada has a relatively easier immigration policy than the US does not mean that Canada also presents as many opportunities that US does. Let me categorically state this. US has far more and far better opportunities than Canada can ever have. So when it comes to prospects for your career, when it comes to the prospects of your financial stability, US beats Canada big time, because in Canada half your income goes away in taxes. In the US that usually is about 30%. Then Canada's living expenses, the housing expenses are very high. Even gas in Canada is much more expensive. So the overall quality of life, except for immigration purposes, US actually beats Canada. And therefore it is wrong to compare US and Canada. The only reason for such comparison comes from the fact that US and Canada are neighbors, and they also speak English, and they have sort of similar culture. Second lie that people often project is that life is a party in the US. Let's be real. Everybody wants to show the best on social media. If you have friends on Facebook or Instagram, and when you look at their travel pictures with Statue of Liberty or any other major tourist attraction in the US, let's be real, they are not touring around all the time. It's only once in a while that they go and travel like that. For most part of the year, they are just doing their work. Not everybody goes out to vacation as much as they show. In fact, believe it or not, a tourist who enters the US would have seen more places than a person who has been living in the US for the last 3 years. After all, US attracts more tourists than any other country. But it is very important to note that life is not at all a party here. You have to slog. You have to work very hard in your job or in your school. In fact, if your performance is not up to the mark, you can lose your job. And if you do, you have very few days to get another job, or you have to leave the country. So therefore, US is not at all that easy. You have to work hard. And the party life that people often project on social media is true to some extent, but to a very limited extent. The third lie that people often project about the US is that immigration hassle is not worth it. Let's be clear. If immigration hassle was not worth it, why would so many people still be struggling in this country? Because the United States presents those opportunities and those life experiences that not many countries can. In fact, no country can compete with the US on opportunities, the quality of work, and the variety of opportunities that one can explore. So it is wrong to say that everything is better elsewhere. It is not. In spite of all these immigration hassles, people continue to flock to the US. Even though immigration hassle is there, but it does not mean that on a daily basis people have to go through those hassles. There are occasional painful events or incidents. Yes, I understand that. But hardly any other country can give you this overall package that the US provides you. Now, the fourth popular lie that I have often heard people say is that I don't care about green card. Let's be real. If you did not get it, you are wanting it. Okay, everybody cares about green card. In fact, there are organizations who consider it a cause and are trying to forward their cause. Hindu Republican Association is one of those organizations that is trying very hard to influence lawmakers to pass laws so that people can get green cards easily.
From the beginning, who made all this possible, but eventually what you're seeing today, it's all because of you. It makes me feel very proud. It makes us as an organization feel very proud that each and every one of you has made this possible. It's amazing. Thank you. And there are many people who have gotten these permits and have actually started businesses and have created jobs.
Green card is the only way to actually settle down in the US and live the American dream. Without a green card, your status is always on the shaky grounds. Therefore, if a Desi in the US tells you that he or she doesn't care about their green card, first ask them, have they applied for it? If they have not and are completely planning to move back to their own country, then they might be truthful. However, if they have applied for green card and have been waiting on getting their green card for a while, don't take those comments very seriously. And the final biggest lie that people tell about the US is that the United States is no longer the same country. It is no longer the land of opportunities. There is no other country in the history of this world that can give you more chances to succeed than the United States of America. It is only because of too many people from one country are applying for green cards and there is a per country cap. The green card process has slowed down, but that does not mean that if you are the cutting edge person, if you are a highly talented individual, and if you can prove yourself, you will not get opportunities. It still does not happen like that. It might happen, but not as much as people would like to project. In today's day and age of technology, all the technology companies, all the best of the best companies are still American companies. All the innovations that happen in the world, most of them have American roots and are happening in the United States. Let me just prove this argument with a simple fact. How many successful people from India can you think of when I say that those Indians who are not living in India, who are the most successful NRIs, can you name 3 people from Australia? Does any name immediately jump out at you? Can you name 4 people from Germany? Can you name 5 people from Canada, England? Are you struggling? Now, if you ask anybody who are the most famous or successful NRIs that they have heard of, people will easily start naming many of them. Let me just go by the cliche. CEO of IBM, Arvind Krishna. CEO of Microsoft, Satya Nadella. CEO of Google, Sundar Pichai. Many famous industrialists, many famous scientists, professors, a lot of them are in the US. So the US was and is the greatest land of opportunities, and it will continue to be that way. Therefore, it is definitely worth going through that struggle in this country. I went through that struggle and many people are going through that struggle as well. So when people on H1B tell you any of these things, be wary and respectfully just keep quiet and chuckle. Thank you for watching. Jai Hind, and may God bless the United States of America.